should be quiet. Hello there, folks, or g'day, as I normally say. It's Kitty Broom here with episode number 52, which means Paul and myself, Swiss Gold Global Australia, have been doing these live hangouts every Monday night, 7 o'clock our time. Just checking. Yes, we are live on YouTube there. Hello, everybody in YouTube land. For 1 year now. Time flies when you're having fun, and Paul and I have been having fun, and it's been ups and downs, but we've got some great people on to join us on our 1 year anniversary. Of course, we've got the owner of the company, Bill Rowell, who generously gives his time to come on and talk to us on their Hangouts, and Claudia Eifert, our number one affiliate in the company. She's more than happy to give her time as well, which is fantastic. Now, I'm going to throw to Bill because we've only got him for 15 minutes. So I'll just say quickly hello to Claudia. Enjoying your summertime in Germany, I trust.
Hi, Kitty. Yes, certainly.
All right, great. And Paul, we never get out of summertime here in Australia. Even during the winter, it's like summertime. Isn't that right?
Well, probably this is the coldest day that we've had this winter. The good news is we're coming into spring, but yeah, it was cold today. Now, I've got a jumper on tonight, so it is cold.
It's down to about 23. Shocking, mate. Shocking. Yeah. Bill, now you've got to go in about 15 minutes. You've got some calls, but I'll give you one piece of information. This day, 12 months ago, we obviously ran about this day when we did our first hangout. I just looked up the price of Bitcoin 12 months ago. It was US $3,987. 12 months ago, 3987 on this day. So a lot's happened in 12 months, not only for Bitcoin, but us as a business. There's a lot happened. There's still a lot more to come as far as the ride we're on. So it's a very good morning or good afternoon and good evening from our side to you, Bill. How are things with you?
Yeah, hi, Keithy. Hi, Paul. Hi, Claudia. Welcome to everyone joining us from different parts of the world. I'm in Europe, and it is summertime here. Probably the same temperature as it is in the Gold Coast in your winter, but all is good. Yeah, I suppose it's interesting. You know, it's 12 months since you got engaged, Keithy, and your Bitcoin price is a bit over 3,000. Then, of course, it went up to nearly 20, and now it's back. What is it now? About 6.4, and which is double primarily than when you got engaged, which in one sense sounds fantastic. On the other sense, of course, we see that our mining contracts are not paying because the maintenance fee is now exceeding the actual cost. So, you know, this concerns all of us. I mean, it's costing all of us big money. So it's not the best situation to be in. But on the other side, I suppose these are the risks that each and every one of us take when we get into new disruptive technology where there's no history to actually give us a forecast of what the future will be. Okay, the price is good. The price can still break out. We're still in the grace period. The contracts have not failed. The contracts are still valid, which is good. But it'd be nice to have a nice strong rally now in Bitcoin price to get them back into validation. So even though the payments might be small, it keeps the contracts live. Of course, you know, if you got involved 12 months ago, most people would have done very, very well with their mining. And but these contracts this year, of course, have been a different reward because the whole environment has absolutely changed, which I understand. So there is a lot happening in this space. I mean, one thing's for sure, people ask me about this, but even when I was in Australia, traveling around, meeting with some great people there, people who, you know, put their hard-earned money into, you know, a speculative play to try and earn some extra income. And then, of course, the mining fees dropped off the edge, dropped off the cliff in the start of January. Then we saw the difficulty rate increase. And certainly the mining fees, we didn't all expect that to happen, to have such an effect. And then, of course, the difficulty rate increasing significantly. It's really hit us hard when it comes to pay us. But if you've got Bitcoin and you're a believer in the protocol, like I am, hold on to it, because if it does go to 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100,000, even what you've mined up to this particular time, I'm sure is going to cover what investment you've got. But it's going to be a long-term, it could be a long-term process. I mean, the market is still bearish at this particular time. And as Claudia will tell you, who studies the markets pretty pretty heavily, and also with professionals. You know, before we see a strong breakout, we could see a little even more of a dip. But the concerning thing is, of course, is the difficulty factor. So that's regarding Bitcoin, and of course, as I said, it's deeply concerning to all of us. On the other side, we realize as a company we need to diversify into other assets that we know are going to keep yielding, you know, month after month, year after year for many years, and not have this issue like a difficulty rate that's a variable. You know, so we're working on some pretty exciting projects right now, and we believe they will come to market in October. We're pretty confident that they'll come to market in October. And this will give people a long-term return, we believe, and certainly have the availability to earn a bit of a commission. So you can sort of hedge your bet in one sense. But there's a lot to do on that. But I can't really say much more about that at this stage. But we're all I know Claudia's had discussions with various people about it, and we're all pretty excited about it because it does look very, very, very good. And we won't be exposed at the same sort of risk in one sense that we have with Bitcoin, with the mining side. Now, hopefully the mining turns around, but of course this is a technology that none of us knew. You know, it's a new sector, whereas this other hedge product that we're looking at has been around for many, many decades. We know it's paying history. It's an asset. We know what its reserves are to pay into the future. So we're very excited about that that's going to be able to help people out a bit. You know?
All right. Yeah, I was speaking to someone today, actually, who's pretty buoyant about Bitcoin. There's a lot of big movement, he said, and maybe Claudius can bring us up to speed shortly about something happening in November, something big happening in November that he's heard about. I can't quite remember the details. He's pretty excited, and I've been watching quite a few videos on the so-called people I've been following. Even there's a lot of talk in these financial programs in the US about Bitcoin and adoption. And the adoption rate is pretty small at the moment. And that's basically what they're talking about too, is as more and more people get involved in Bitcoin and the technology, then the price will go up. So some people are thinking a breakout, like Bill said, 2019. For us, I just did it on the Alice Comp calculator, which Claudia uses a bit of a guide for 1 terahash. The price would need to go to 7,250 based on today's difficulty rate, just to start our contracts paying again, to give everybody an idea. So 7,250, and I'll just go to CoinCap now. It's at 6,400. It was it today. It's just going up and down a little bit, 6,500. So it's only a few $100s that needs to just buoy back up over the next 3 or 4 weeks, because it only dropped below the 28 cents per terahash about a week and a half ago. So we're still in the early stages of that 60-day. And if you're not quite sure, once the earnings of our contracts per terahash goes below 28 cents, we don't earn anything from our contracts. So you won't be getting any payouts for your Bitcoin mining contracts unless you have the newer ones, the 14-cent maintenance fee. I got about 3 of those, so I'll be earning a little bit out of that slowly. I got paid for my Ethereum 2 days ago, so I've got Ethereum contracts, so they're still profitable. They're still paying, which is good for the ones I've got. But most of the people I speak to, I've got 2 calls today. What's going on with Bitcoin mining contracts, and they hadn't sort of grasped about the 60-day period. And I said, well, no one's getting paid on those particular contracts with a 28-cent maintenance fee. And I told them it's around about 7,300. The price goes back up there. Our contracts will start paying again, but also the 60-day period is reset to 0. So that's all we need to do is just get it back up to there. So hopefully the next week to week and a half, if the way it's going, the little creeping up, so it's just bumped up again as we speak. It's quite volatile. It's gone about 1% today, just an average 1 to 2% per day over the next week, and we're back at 73, 7,400, and we're away again. Plus the new stuff that's coming with Swiss Gold is pretty exciting. Our ICOs, it's good. And I believe, Bill, I know we've only got you for another 5 minutes, so Claudia will give us more detail, but the actual new website is ready, but we've just got to do some finishing touches. Is that right, Bill?
Well, it won't go live until the new product comes out, which will be October, just so everyone knows. The whole back end, etc., has been rebuilt, engineered. There's still got some final things to complete there. But the issues that we've had in the past are going to be all resolved. Obviously, the Swiss Gold Global website, the company is 10 years old, so that the back end has been quite old. It's been around for a long time. So it had to be rebuilt to cater for scalability, security, and other issues as well. So it's exciting to have that. But also the marketing aspect of it, which is probably more important for people too, of course, how to share the message of Swiss Gold Global, which can be quite complex. So the new product is going to make it a lot easier. And again, it's going to be a different payment method. And I think people will make their own, again, you've got to do your due diligence, but make your own research into it. But you'll see the type of class of product that we're going to have. It's going to be truly unique, and it's certainly going to be rewarding, we believe. And I've known these people since 2003, 2004, in a large investment. In fact, I invested into their company with 7 figures. So that was back in 2004. So I put a lot of money back into it back in those days, a long time ago. So I know these people, I trust them, and they're specialists in their field. So I think we're going to come out with an exciting product here, which is going to be great for our members.
I think you probably hit the nail on the head, which a lot of members, and I'll ask Paul this question as well. The guy I spoke to today, he met you and Claudia at our Brisbane meeting just over a year ago. Now he signed up under somebody in the UK, and then this particular guy did nothing. He didn't do anything. For a year, he's done nothing, and he's been looking around, putting his hat, but he loves crypto and loves the whole opportunity and thinks it's a massive opportunity, and been doing a lot of research. And I said, well, why do you want now finally to get involved in Swiss Gold Global? And he said, well, it's the company. It's the people who run the company, the people that they associate themselves with, and the length of business time and business that they've been in, as opposed to everything else I see. There was his quote, everything's just popping up with these particular opportunities that have been going for 1 month or 2 months or maybe 3 months or 4 months. Whereas he's looking, he said specifically, I've done this many times and I've lost money through going into companies that have only just started and they haven't been through that process of becoming a strong entity, having the right connections within their business. Like he's used to, he said, when I used to work for big corporations here in Australia, there was that steadfast resources they had backed up. So I think, Bill, with association, that's what I said to him. We got the association with Genesis Mining, Arga Horizon for the gold and silver, with our ICOs, with Philip Judge, all these quality people backed in business, which is fantastic. That's what a lot of people are looking for. So if we do get our back end of being able to promote the business, it'll be not so much an easy sell, but a very easy thing for people to understand a 10-year-old business as opposed to what they're used to seeing. Just started. Our opening day is in 2 months type of thing. People are starting to get sick of that, Bill.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I suppose, business, creating wealth is an application of labor, and resources. It takes time to build something sustainable, And in today's digital world, of course, we want to be able to log into something and click on something and make some money. The world has changed, but it's all about sustainability and having something for a long-term vision that's going to pay year after year. And that's what we've always been about, and also wealth preservation. But no, we're getting close to it. Okay, the regulatory side of the ICO, we've had some hiccups there on the regulatory side because many of the countries, many of the jurisdictions, they're not 100% clear with their direction. The central bank hasn't said, yes, we want you to go this particular path with cryptocurrency. And of course, we want to have ours regulated to make sure that it's going to be around. And so we've had even though we had 3 or 4 meetings with the people in a certain part of the world with these regulators, and they're very supportive. Now they've done a turnaround and said, right now we just have to put it on hold. We can't move ahead. So we're moving ahead with another jurisdiction. And of course, this takes time and money to do these things and puts delays on it. But regarding the project coming out in October, that's full steam ahead. That's on target, and that will actually happen. And so between now and, of course, we're coming to the end of August already, which I can't believe, September, we're going to be there. So we have a lot to do.
Well, you're always a busy man, Bill, which is the thing we love about you, mate. Now, just let us know when you want to go, because I'll continue chatting to Bill and Claudia about what's going on. We're celebrating a year now of our Hangouts, so another year to be racked up, another, well, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years, whatever it takes to keep the message going to our members. So anything else you want to add, Bill?
Well, I'll hang here. Is there any questions from anyone, Keithy, before I do go?
We've got a number of people watching. Now we've got Connie in the Netherlands, Robbie. Not sure where you are, Robbie. Just let us know where you are. And Brian York. Where are you, Brian? Where are you in from?
Norway.
Norway.
He's an Australian. He's Australian in exile living in Norway.
This must be a migration of Aussies going overseas, Bill, led by your example. Oh, Robbie's in Belgium.
I think he's been living. I think Brian's been living overseas for 20 years, actually.
Oh,
so,
right. Okay.
Claudia might know more about it. But yes, I've known Brian. I had communication with him now. Must be nearly 10 years.
All right, fantastic. And Robbie's in Belgium. So, if any of you guys have got a quick question before Bill goes. Yeah, 20 years, Brian says. Yeah, there you go. He's Paul, perhaps you've got a question. You can just anything you want to ask Bill before he heads off.
No, I guess we're just sitting back waiting to see what's going to happen with our contracts and waiting for the new ICOs to come on board. So that's as much as I can say.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that seems to be a bit of a lull period at the moment. That's the unfortunate part. We're waiting for Bitcoin just to get a bit of a kick, and also we're waiting for our ICOs and the new product to come out as well. So it's a bit of patience to be as needed by everybody. I know we're in good hands with you, Bill. So that's the reason that I'm not panicking or doing anything. You know, I haven't got the kitchen knife out to slash any wrists or anything stupid like that. So as some people panic when businesses are in a poised state, I've got no dramas for that at all. So everyone seems pretty happy. There's no questions come through, Bill. So if there's anything you want to add before you head off.
No, I think what you just said, Keith, is, I mean, we're very sensitive to we're very sensitive to the situation, of course. I mean, people have put money into this, of course, with the idea of making money. Of course, when the environment changes and we feel that people, of course, each and every one of us are in the same situation as well, of course. But of course, we all went into knowing the circumstances, well, not understanding the full complexities of how Bitcoin mining and the difficulty rate rose in correlation to, I suppose, I mean, that's unpredictable in one sense, and the effect of the US dollar. So that was really the risk that we always knew about. But you know, from the growth of last year to where it's been, even this year, I mean, you said you started, it was a bit over $3,000. It's now over $6,500, $6,400, I think it is. I mean, it's still quite remarkable to be compared to other things out there, but it's really just it's the protocol in one sense that it's the increasing of the mining and the adoption you spoke about that's giving us a bit of heartache at the moment. But, you know, we could see a breakout in price. I mean, as I said, the contracts are not terminated. They're just not paying because you can't pay out something if you're making less. That's pretty common sense in one sense. So we look forward to a breakout in price so we can trigger that payment again to validate the contracts into that area again, which would be fantastic for at least another 60 days until we do get that breakout. But yeah, we're monitoring it and working on other things to keep things moving forward. But no, we face the music. We're not going to hide away from people. This is business. You know, business is like that. And sometimes it's you know, it's not for everyone. You're going to be able to take the bumps as well. And And of course, it is uneasy. But that's why we always say in these webcasts, do not put money into these types of things, the money, unless you can afford to lose it. And that was what I was taught by Robert Kiyosaki in 1998 when I did a project of Robert. He said the minimum you're gonna have to invest, Bill, is 25,000 US. That was about 33,000 Australian dollars at that time. And he said, don't put money you cannot afford to lose. It's 5 years, and it's not guaranteed. So then it was my responsibility to decide, do I get engaged with Robert Kiyosaki or not? Now, obviously, I wanted to be engaged with him. I believed in what he was about. One of the concepts completely failed. The other concept worked out well. My children own those shares today, and that's 20 years later, plus 20 years later. So the money that I lost on one side has been picked up on the other side. So, this is why diversification is really important. That's why we as a company are moving forward in producing other products. But the core thing is, we're not just going out after hairy-fairy things. I mean, the guys that I'm involved with, and Claudia's met the team. In fact, she's known them for many years as well. As I said, when I looked at the project, I flew over there to the certain location and part of the world to make sure what they were saying in natural resources was actually there. I wasn't just buying air. I bought a lot of air when it came to the NASDAQ. I bought a lot of stocks that had nothing. So I wasn't going to let that happen again. So I hopped on an aircraft, flew over there in 2004, and I made sure what they were saying was absolute truth. And as a result of that due diligence, I put over $1 million Australian dollars into this investment. That's a lot of money, And so they're good people, they're core people. And but again, it's not without risk, but you've got to do your due diligence. So all I can say is we're working forward with diversification, working forward with good people, and what we're going to bring to the table, I think, is going to be very rewarding for our members. One in the sense of initial cash flow, which is important. You get your short-term rewards, and secondly, a longer-term benefit as well. So that's the main key at the moment, or main focus right now.
Yeah, and you've also got the not to lose sight of the mining farm that you'd like to get organised to. That's obviously that's delayed a bit, pushed back on the back burner, but that's another opportunity within a 12-month period from now, from August 2018 to August 2019. Would you say that you'd have everything be up and running with the ICOs, the new product in October you're talking about, the ICOs website, and your mining farm you'd like to get that sort of up and running within 6 to 9 months from now, Bill?
The mining farm, in one sense, has changed a little bit. I think it could be 6 to 9 months, but obviously the mining environment has changed. So the investors, in one sense, they're looking at it with a different set of eyes, because obviously the rewards aren't like they were, at the beginning of the year. But with that said, there's still money in it. There's still money there, but we have to, and the changing of technologies and the game players out there. I think, Claudia studies a lot of this. There's many variables that weren't around 6 months ago, that have come out of the shadows in one sense that we've learnt about. But the most important thing is we want to look for opportunities. I mean, Philip Judge has been in the precious metal industry now for 30 years. He's another Australian, of course, been living abroad for 15, 16 years. He's an expert in his field when it comes to precious metals, and we're looking at different mining opportunities there. I mean, he's been working on some projects for a number of years, and that's a core product that we're looking at very seriously. So we're looking at a cross section of different opportunities. We'll be able to bring out the best. I mean, every month he would get projects across his table, and probably out of probably less than 3% he would dig deep into. So the ones that we actually tap into, I think, are going to be very, very, very exciting, and we'll actually be able to give some returns and opportunities for our members. But we want to make sure we pull the trigger on the right ones. We don't want to make the wrong mistake and cost everyone, including ourselves, money.
Yeah. Okay, Bill. All right. Well, you've overdone your time by 10 minutes, so I appreciate that for coming on. We'll let you go. Thanks very much, Bill. I'll be
around for next. I'll be around for next week's call, but just reach out if you need anything. But great to see you again.
Yeah. Okay, Bill. Thanks very much. Okay. Have a great day. All right. There you go, folks. That was Bill Rowell, the owner. He's always looking forward, which is the best thing I like about Bill. He's always positive about the opportunities. We're involved in the crypto space, which is changing by the week, by the hour. but there's more people getting involved. And what this guy spoke to this morning at length, I was asking about the corporations and everything, and I want to ask you, Claudia, these companies are showing huge signs of interest in the crypto world, all these interviews I watch on YouTube, everyone's really, really excited about the opportunity, but they're not jumping in quickly. They're all looking and making their decisions as a business slowly and succinctly, and crossing the I's and dotting the T's and making sure everything is in place, just like Bill said, exactly like Bill said, so that if they're going to put their money in, and people that are companies that are going to put money into the crypto space are going to put billions of dollars in for the technology and the uses. They're not going to do it on a whim. They're going to do it in a planned way. So is there any news that you can impart to us, Claudia, about the feeling of the vibe about Bitcoin and blockchain from the people that you speak to on a daily basis? Can you bring us up to speed with anything?
Hi, Kitty. Well, sure. I mean, look, when you just look at the announcement on the companies which are starting to produce mining rigs, which are actually starting to open their mining farms. So there's a lot of business still in the mining itself. As Bill of it is just a little bit changing. And I don't know if you saw the article. There was an article last week out by Marco Strength from Genesis Mining, and he was asked because usually the difficulty rate should have actually gone down, but it hasn't gone down because Bitcoin prices went down, and he gave the reason that the difficulty rate hasn't gone down as of course expected, because there are of course newer technology out. There are companies which working with this newer technology, which ever fast, of course, mines their Bitcoin, and at the same time where the small miners getting wiped out. So many small miners, of course, were getting wiped out, and they should have actually driven the difficulty rate down, but they didn't, because those few other big mining farms, of course, mining providers, they actually have this new technology, and of course now everybody is speaking about the 7 nanometer technology rigs, which of course are producing on a way faster rate than Bitcoin, and so this is of course hence the increase of the difficulty rate, which really was substantial in the last few months, and that's what Bill meant with the changing in the environment of the mining. So it is profitable, yes, but it's of course a difficulty rate increasing. With that means as well, there's a lot of interest in Bitcoin, because as of course, some experts, or actually the experts always say, we have had a continuous growth of hash rate. What does it mean? Well, hash rate hasn't gone down. Bitcoin price went down, hash rate didn't go down. And usually, of course, the Bitcoin price follows hash rate. So eventually, this will turn around in a big term, that a Bitcoin price will again follow this hash rate. Hash rate is ever increasing, the speed to what, of course, the Bitcoin is mined. I mean, there's a lot of factors. We have the halving coming in 2020. The halving is actually was expected for June, but because there is a fast-growing hash rate, and now the halving is expected to be way earlier in 2020. So, I mean, if we look at the statistic, at the short statistic we have in Bitcoin, we see that probably most likely it will come to this big price turn when this halving happens. That's why I say we just need to have in those 60 days, 1 or 2 days, when we get when again the Bitcoin goes over that rate, and then okay, let's wait again another 60 days or 50 days, so that we hover over the time of the trend we are in, which is a downtrend, just to get to the trend where it's gonna turn, because the trend will come, and we just don't know when this trend will come. So for me, that's just what I think. And yes, there are a lot of people, a lot of things talks about the ETFs which have been rejected, but I just put up an article the other day from Andreas Andropoulos, who said he doesn't, of course, like ETFs to come on board. But then on the other hand side, he says, well, there will be probably eventually they have to come on board ETFs. So there's a lot of talk there. I'm excited long term for Bitcoin. I'm not happy with the contracts as of now. I'm not happy with the email either sent by Genesis. So I have to say that by sent to upgrade the contracts and to basically have to pay again and even pay more than the initial contracts. Don't know why they sent the email. I just don't get it, honestly. Why they would actually, it's a little bit of a mismanagement in marketing. I don't get it, but anyway, they did it, and it confused a lot of people. In fact, free newspaper publications put in Genesis canceling the contracts. Well, actually, okay, it was always in the terms and conditions, but it's actually, it wasn't meant to be that. It's 60 days time, and we are still in the beginning of that. So we haven't yet, I mean, it's 6th of October. We are in August. So it's a long time before they're going to cancel the product. So this was a little bit all misleading, which shouldn't have happened, certainly, as of a marketing perspective. But hey, this is the case. So lots of people get panicked. I'm not panicking yet. I'm panicking when we are 1 week to the end.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, I watched that or read that via their Twitter feed. So if you want to know what's going on with Genesis, just go to their website and then scroll down to the bottom to their Twitter logo, click on that, and then save their Twitter page to get all the, that's where they seem to go immediately, is to their Twitter feed to give the updates. And as Claudia said, unfortunately, they didn't word that message quite rightly, and a lot of people were confused as to what they actually meant. And it was just basically asking people if they wanted to upgrade to the 14 cents per terahash contracts, that they have to pay more to upgrade their old contracts to the new ones. A lot of people said, no, that's a bad idea. As Claudia said, we're only just starting the 60-day period of non-profit performing for our contracts. But, you know, something could happen within the financial world, and then that sparks a run, even be a mini run, a small, tiny run. And I'm just looking at CoinCap now. So it's gone up again, 6412. So it's hovering up and down, up and down, up and down around this mark, and it needs a breakout of a couple of $100. It needs one of the big players, and this is what I'll ask Paul first. What one or two factors do you think would create a price jump of maybe $300 or $400, say from 6,400 to 7,000 up to 7,300 American over a couple of week period? What factor do you think would generate that? My thoughts, maybe it might be a couple of these big players have got 15 or 20,000 Bitcoins, and they've taken their profit from when it was 8,500. Now it's time to buy in. So they start buying 10,000, 15,000 Bitcoins, and then other people see what's going on and they start buying and buying and buying, and everyone gets into a buying mini frenzy, and the price slowly goes up a few thousand. Maybe that's a reason. I don't know. What do you think, Paul? What's your guesstimate of what may happen to get it up?
Well, I think adoption, we're talking about America, getting on board, and more people opening up more and more wallets and putting more faith into Bitcoin and buying Bitcoin. So we've got to get it, I guess it's education and get people into cryptocurrency. And the best way to get into cryptocurrency is to, open up a wallet, put some Bitcoin in, buy some Bitcoin, I should say, and that will get things generating. Yeah,
well, there's only, I haven't studied the stats lately. There's only about 30 odd million accounts. So we get to 35, 40, 45,000, 50,000, 50 million, 50 million accounts. We're at 30 million now. That again will generate price growth because people are buying Bitcoin. So that's our 2 cents worth. Claudia, what do you think? One or two factors that you can see or you've heard that would give that little bump up to 7,300 for us?
I mean, well, okay, let's, I have an example. Last night I was, I live, of course, in the Riesling area, the wine, you know, where the Riesling wine comes from. So I'm in the capital of the Riesling area. So we had yesterday our 2 weeks, well, it's like actually 2 weeks Riesling festival, where all the people who produce, of course, the Riesling wine in the area, they come and they have their exposition, and you can drink wine. So I'm a little bit, you know, still it was a little bit too much yesterday, but it's funny. I was sitting with some two people. They are down, quite savvy, successful businessmen, businesswomen and businessmen, individual businesses, quite wealthy, I would say, having businesses all over Europe, and some even into China and America. So they asked me, what am I doing? And of course, you know what we say, Kitty, we are in gold, silver, and crypto, don't we? And they said, oh, crypto, wow. And so they all wanted to know. And said, well, so what do you know about crypto? Well, yeah, we are heavily invested in, actually, we bought into OneCoin.
Uh-oh, OneCoin. Oh, my God. Heavily invested. That's not a good sign.
And I said, oh, okay. And do you own any Bitcoin? No, but Bitcoin is already overpriced. It's like, it's too late to get in. So I had to do some education there, of course, which I did and explained, and they were really intrigued. So I mean, the thing is, so people are actually heard about it, and again, they are getting interested. Yes, they just are being misinformed. They don't understand. And I had the friend of mine who actually owns that vineyard, and I was talking, but because he was then also coming, and he was drinking a wine with me, and I gave him ideas. I said, look, you have a great job, a great business there. Sell your wine. There's nobody selling yet in the Bitcoin community for Bitcoin wine. And so I gave him ideas, and he was really, really intrigued. So it's really about what Paul said. It's the education. Lots of people are misinformed. They may have heard for the first time of Bitcoin in 2017 at the end, when Bitcoin was at 17,000, 18, 19, 20,000. Now it's going down, so they don't know. That's that. And then, of course, on the other hand side, whenever there are more mining farms being built, and if you look at the different news, the different, if it is blockchain news, Bitcoin, Cointelegraph, Coinbank, all those publications which are in the crypto space, if you see on a daily basis new articles coming out of company which building their mining farms, why do they build their mining farms? Don't they see something in it? Of course they do. And so yeah, I mean, the environment is building up again to that huge breakout. Now, we don't know when the breakout is going to come. For this week, on a technical analysis basis, I know that if Bitcoin goes up this week, we are most likely to see a reverse head and shoulders. That means that we see a breakout in Bitcoin again. That would be great. Of course, I'm still long-term not seeing the bullishness. Not long-term, mid-long term. I'm talking 3-6 months. But then after that, I see, of course, a huge turnaround, even so much greater we have seen before. But so there's a lot of those things which come into play. Our job is to educate people, help people to get started with Bitcoin, open their wallet, and learn a little bit about it, put a few dollars here and there, and hey, you know, it's the little piece, isn't it? That way, if the many little people who start, they can actually start a movement. So it's our job to do that. If we believe in Bitcoin, we want Bitcoin to succeed. Well, we need to help people to understand Bitcoin and help them use Bitcoin, because that's really what it is about, to use Bitcoin. That Bitcoin gets used as an alternative payment system, and even, of course, a store of value. So I see big things happening. We just don't know when.
All right. Now, I've got a question from Robbie, and I've seen this a couple of times. Is Swiss Gold Global going to send an email out informing members that contracts as of the 6th or 7th for the 28-cent terahash contracts, maintenance fee, are not paying anymore until they become profitable. He said, they're on hold for 60 days. They're not on hold for 60 days. They're just not paying while it's not profitable. Now, if Bitcoin, I'm sure you know that, Robbie, if Bitcoin jumps from 6,400 to 7,400 over the next 2 days, and bang, we're earning again, and that 60 days is null and void. So is there any likelihood of an email coming out to explain what's happened, Claudia, to know if anything's happening there?
Yes, I think today there will be an email sent out from corporate, from Swissco Global. But see, that's the thing. The thing is always that, do you send it? Don't you send it? Because if you do send it, you're doomed. If you don't send it, you're doomed either, aren't you? So because you make people, if you send it, you scare people, you confuse people, you basically sort of send signals of panic. You don't send it, well, they're also upset. So what do you do? So that's why a little bit of the delay. I believe today it's going to come out, the email, and it will be differently written than, of course, the email with Genesis, which really, caused just a very, very bad negativity, unfortunately, very unfortunate. But it did, because, again, lots of people don't understand it. And it's also quite surprising how many people don't really understand and never read the terms and conditions, never listened or never looked at the emails. I mean, it was always said that these are the terms and conditions, 60 days. Yes, they are when we started first, they were lifetime contracts, but lifetime contracts, if they are profitable to mine. If they are not for 60 days, well, they get cancelled. Lots of people didn't even bother or didn't read or I don't know why, but it's very interesting. And so, I mean, that's things, I mean, we of course, Bill is pushing and asking. I'm 100% sure that if Genesis could give another month or another 2 months, let's say, in that case, if that happened, and I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know what Genesis mining management decision will be. Will they really cancel it? Will they do, give another month or 2? We don't know. It's too early now. It's just too early to say.
Yeah, that's right. You're spot on. And this is where the leaders and the team leaders around the world in Swiss Gold Global, they should be up to speed. And that's what, I guess, that's the crux of what we're doing tonight. And the people watching, the people are watching, we get a few hundred views on this. And a lot of the people watching are leaders who have teams, and all they need to do is pass this link on, the YouTube link, for people to hear from the owner, and send that an email to your group. You know, I've got a group that I email, so as soon as we finish here, I take the link, and here's the replay. You didn't get to, because it's on all my Facebook pages and groups, advertising an email that I email out to the team, that this is what's happening, Bill's on, but everyone in my team knows that every week we're doing this and bringing people up to speed. So we try and get this information out in a visual sense every week, and then it's recorded, so that can be sent to anyone within the company to hear from the owner and give an update. So I guess you're doomed if you do, doomed if you don't, as Robbie was asking. But clarity of what actually would happen. So all we need is Bitcoin to climb to 7,300. I just did a calculation just before. 7,250 would do it, and she's back up to 29 cents per terahash, and the contracts are earning, and then it's null and void. But as you rightly said, what will Genesis Mining do if the worst case scenario gets to 60 days? Would they enforce that, or they say, right, because of our valued customers, over 2 million, we've invested heavily, we're not going to lose our customers, we'll extend that by another 30 days. If Bitcoin's getting close, we'll extend that by another 40 days or whatever. We don't know what that scenario is, which is true from what you just said, Claudia. So all we can do is think about the present at the moment. They're not paying, so we all know that. When will they pay? If the price of Bitcoin gets back to around about 7,300 US. How can we help that? Well, we can promote the use of Bitcoin, the adoption of Bitcoin for one as an individual, by posting and emailing people. Here's a link to the company I use. So, for example, I've already posted on my timeline that I use, where's CoinJar? There it is there, CoinJar in Australia. So I've already posted the link for CoinJar to say, well, just join this exchange for free as a free member, and then put $100 worth of Australian dollars in there and exchange that for Bitcoin, and you are a proud owner of some Bitcoin, and get the adoption rate up of people doing that. So that's what I can do, just doesn't cost me anything. I just do on Facebook and do that, or do a video about it. And then I can wear my Bitcoin t-shirt when I'm out on the weekend. And like you, when I meet people, they ask me, what do you do? What's an old fella like you do nowadays? So, well, I don't work on a building site lifting concrete blocks and running around like that. I try and be a little bit smarter. So I'm into online business and in cryptocurrency. Oh, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Oh, wow. How does that work? But you're 25 or 26, you should know all about this stuff. No, well, not really. So again, the education part is just an everyday of meeting people. You can actually help people understand and get involved and say, well, it's long term. Like the internet started back in the 90s, it took a while. I listened to one video tonight, the adoption of, I think they said Microsoft or Amazon took 7, 8 or 9 years before mainstream started coming into it. So stuff like Bitcoin has been going 10 years, but the adoption's really only happened, I guess, Paul, how long do you reckon, Paul? I reckon like we've been involved for 3.5 years, I suppose. About just over 3 years when it really started, the momentum started going.
Oh, I think it's a little bit less than that. So like November of 2016. So that's nearly 2 years. So a little bit earlier than that. So around about March. Yeah. So 2.5 years.
Yeah, it's not very long. So, and business is definitely on the way, on the move. So, all right. Well, listen, we want to finish off there because we've had Bill on. He's given us an update. We've got everything happening in October, which is, time is just going so quick. It's the 20th of August already. It's just crazy. You'll be looking for Christmas shopping specials soon, Paul, for all your grandchildren. You're looking for that golfing putter with Bitcoin, is it?
Yes, that's right. Yes, I have one.
I've got my Bitcoin socks on tonight that Bill gave me for a birthday present when I was down in, I think, Sydney or Melbourne. He gave them to me, just late birthday present. Thanks very much, Bill, again, for the Bitcoin socks. I wear those out quite often and show people, and they, oh, Bitcoin socks, wow. So maybe you can give some people some Bitcoin-related presents for Christmas. There's heaps of them online, heaps on eBay. I was just looking the other day. I want to get some T-shirts. I'll have to ask you, Paul. Actually, you can tell everybody else. Where'd you get the T-shirt you gave me? It's about 2 sizes too big, mate.
Oh, was it? Well, it fitted me. I gave it to you. But you can give all these little Bitcoin things out to everybody. Yeah, these all exist. The coin itself, Bitcoin coin, that usually jiggles people along a bit. You just throw it over the counter. Oh, there's a Bitcoin. I've never seen one. Hey, Joe, come have a look at this. Here's a Bitcoin. That's another way of going about it without having a T-shirt. Yeah. The T-shirts, where do you get them from? Oh, well, get in touch with us and I'll let you know. Yeah.
So you can buy those. You can get them in lots of 5 or 10 or something, can't you?
Yeah, these coins, you can buy them in lots of 5, lots of 10. They're very popular, and that's a great way of telling everybody about Bitcoin. That's what I do anyhow.
Yeah. You come up with these great ideas. Claudia, thanks for coming on tonight, as usual. How can people get other people excited in the short term? Go to meeting groups.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Go again. Go to meetup groups. I mean, like find out where you have local meetup groups about Bitcoin. Find out where are panel forums or whatever on Bitcoin. I mean, here where I'm in Germany, I mean, I just have Frankfurt, I have Berlin, I have just so many places where you can go. I mean, you're in Australia, you know, lots of places to go. I think Robbie, who is in Belgium or Netherlands, right? You have in September coming up the big blockchain. There's a big blockchain event. I mean, huge in Amsterdam coming up. It's just in a few days. I mean, in a few days we're in September, or in a few weeks we're in September. So huge. You have a big Bitcoin hub, anyways, in Amsterdam. And you have even Bitcoin coffee shops in Amsterdam there, where they only accept Bitcoin. So there's lots in your area happening there. Yeah, just get engaged, educate people on Bitcoin. You can't buy mining contracts at the moment with us. And we're working on other things, but we still have gold or silver. Don't forget gold or silver. Gold and silver is in a downtrend at the moment, meaning when something prices go down, because the dollar is, of course, getting strong because of what's happening. Everybody flees or panics into dollar because that's the thing they know most. With all those embargoes and things and countries and Turkish lira and Putin and whatnot. So you see, whenever the dollar goes up, the gold goes down. But this trend will change. Smart people buy into gold, buy into silver, into precious metals, when, of course, everybody's getting out of it. So now it's the time to buy. Certainly, I do that. Diversify, as always Bill said. Even buy Bitcoin, as Kitty said. Buy Bitcoin now, because now it's getting down. Even if you just buy little by little by little and buy yourself up, you will be happy after that. And in a few years to come. And otherwise, for you guys with a mining contract, stay focused, visualize the best outcome. And that's it. What it is something great coming, a great income generating product, which has been around since thousands of years, which is really great. And that will be the new exciting thing coming in the next 2 months. So I'm really happy, because this is something which is going to here to stay, which is not so volatile, and which will again produce us revenue. Don't we all like revenue?
Yes, we love revenue. Thank you. You just spoken the magic words, Claudia. That's a great point to finish on. For us, it's our 1 year anniversary, Paul. You and me together, like we're the equivalent of the Odd Couple, that American TV show.
Indeed.
Two old blokes down under, hopefully giving people the right information. Whether anyone listens to us at all, mate, is a different story. We try to impart as positive as we possibly can the opportunities that are presented in front of us. I believe we're in the right space at the right time. 2018, 19, 20, the years coming up for us, especially with Swiss Gold Global, with the products we've got coming up that Bill's and Claudia is very, very confident about. And the new one coming in October will be very, very exciting and income producing for everybody, which is even more exciting. So we do have very, very positive, exciting things, very, very close. You just can't get there quick enough. When you're old, you want the days to be longer, but now with this business, I want to get there quicker. So very hard to balance both. Thank you, Claudia, for coming on tonight. Now we'll go into number 53 next week, Paul. So that'll be 1 year and 1 episode next week. But congratulations to you, mate, for hanging in there for 12 months. And
it's 7 o'clock on a Monday night. Yeah, for 52 weeks. Goodness gracious me, that's a long time. Yeah.
It is a long time between drinks, or I'm going to have one straight after this because it gets very dry. And water, there'll be water, of course. So, yeah, thank you, Paul, for hanging in for a year. Great partnership we got here on the Gold Coast and in Brisbane. We haven't even touched the surface here. This is the exciting part as well, that in Brisbane, I've got 2.2 million people live around me. 2.2 million. And you, Paul, live on the Gold Coast. there's 500,000 people live near you, around you,
Yes.
and hardly any of them are involved
No.
at all. Hardly any. And this has got to be what everyone watching has just got to think about. Just within a 10-kilometer radius of where I am, who has not heard about cryptocurrency or not heard about Bitcoin or mining or how it works, or ICOs or gold and silver, all under the one roof, where you can buy and sell commodities within the umbrella of the company and have a strong 10-year association, 10-year partnership company that you can belong to. Not many people can tell that story, but you can tell it to just those people around you. So I've got a lot of work to do. Haven't got much time. I've got a lot of people to talk to, 2.2 million, plus all the visitors that come to Australia as well. And to give you an idea, just for people overseas, I live in Sunnybank, which is predominantly a Chinese area. The reason being, it's a little bit of a side, that if you take a map of Brisbane and you put the image of a dragon, it's the body and the head of a dragon, and superimposed over Brisbane, wherever the heart is the lucky part. And so the heart is actually over Sunnybank, where I live.
Oh,
so
really?
a lot of Chinese in this area. So I was speaking to this young guy, and I said, "Oh, what do you do, mate?" He said, "Oh, he's good English. He's been here about 9 months." And he said, "Oh, I'm studying to be a lawyer." I said, "Oh, wow, studying to be a lawyer at university." I said, "You're born in China, you've been living there. How long have you been here?" "This is my first year in Australia studying." "Oh, yeah, great." I said, "Can I ask you, how much does it cost you to study as a student to become a lawyer here in Australia?" And his answer, I just couldn't believe it. It was $50,000 per semester.
Oh,
And he does 2 semesters a year. So it costs him 100,000 Australian dollars a year just to study here, to learn to become a lawyer. I said, "How long's your course?" He says, 5 years. I said, "How many jobs have you got?" He said, "I've got 2 jobs at the moment." And I study and my parents help out. So there are a lot of people in Australia studying as well as living here that are part of the 2.2 million that know nothing about cryptocurrency. But if they're given a little bit of information, they too would get as excited as we are, knowing what is ahead. So that's all you got to do, is just talk to people and tell them your story. So thank you, folks, for watching tonight. Thank you for watching for the last 52 weeks. If you've been on board with us every week, or you haven't managed to catch us live and you watch the replay, which a lot of you will be doing now, they're watching this as a replay, just grab this YouTube link and put it in an email and send it out to 20 people. Say, "Listen, have a look at this company, been around 10 years. They're talking about Bitcoin and got the latest information on Bitcoin. Have a listen." And give them the opportunity to learn something. That's all you got to do. Click and send. We're in the age of technology. Just click and send something out. And that's how we can help. Just as individuals, click and send. Pretty easy. So thank you, Claudia. Have a great week. Enjoy your summertime there in Germany. Don't get too sunburnt. And stay away from that Riesling festival. We don't want you going too crazy.
It's over. It's over.
Oh, it's over. All right. Okay. Thank you, Claudia. All right, Paul. Thank you, mate. I'll catch up with you in the next couple of days.
okay. Very good.
Fantastic.
Bye, Claudia.
All right, guys. Thank you and enjoy your week. Stay positive and let's go for 7,300 Bitcoin. Come on. Let's go. See you on the next one. Thanks for a year with us. Off for another year now. See you soon. Bye-bye.